In a quiet village, a guy from Tokyo, Kohachi Inugami, makes his way with a flat tire. Meanwhile, kids at Yataro's village buzz with excitement about this guest from Tokyo, eager to catch a glimpse of him. Yataro, a boy from the village, permits them as long as they don't bother the guest. He spots Kabane, a kid with a peculiar air, and tells him to stay put because of his peculiar smell. As the day unfolds, Inugami encounters Mrs. Kusaka, his client, and the hostess of Kanoko Villa. She helps him with his car trouble and, on their journey, reveals the eerie mystery of rotting livestock bodies, a secret kept from the children. At the villa, Inugami spots Kabane toiling in the fields and greets him, but Kabane, shy or diligent, merely bows, leaving Inugami guessing. Later, Yataro informs Inugami about Dorotabo, a field-dwelling yokai-like figure with a bad smell that prohibits interaction with guests. After a bath, Inugami requests Dorotabo to be his caretaker. The following morning, Kabane, despite his odor, serves breakfast and introduces himself to Inugami. Inugami, on an investigation about the appearance of rotting corpses, inquires if Kabane noticed anything odd. Kabane wishes to talk post-breakfast, not wanting to disturb others with his scent. He manages the disposal of the bodies, which mysteriously appear after every new moon. With the next new moon approaching in 5 days, Inugami decides to assist Kabane. While working, Inugami notices a peculiar stone around Kabane's neck. Kabane believes it's a token from his parents when he was abandoned. Surprisingly, Inugami identifies it as a rare life stone, implying Kabane may not have been abandoned, as it wouldn't be left on him if he were. Inugami offers to help Kabane find his parents. On the night of the new moon, Yataro, anxious about missing his chance to go to Tokyo, confronts Kabane, snatching his life stone. Kabane transforms into a monster, seeking the stone. Despite retrieving it, he returns to his human form and feels guilty. Inugami discovers Kabane, who blames himself. Inugami then reveals Kabane's secret. He's a hybrid of human and ghoul. While fleeing, Yataro recalls an incident where he mistakenly killed Kabane, who miraculously returned to life. Later, he's attacked by infected dogs, and Inugami and Kabane come to his rescue. They encounter a monstrous deer feeding on a dog, leading to a fierce confrontation. Kabane reveals his truth to Yataro, who might accuse him of recent incidents. Upon returning, Kabane, fearing accusations, prepares to leave. Inugami reveals that Mrs. Kusaka, who is her caretaker, hired him to kill Kabane, misled by recent events. Not just that, but also Kabane was heartbroken to learn that his own parents abandoned him, and his mother, whom he thought cared for him, gave the order to have him killed. It left him feeling deeply hurt and betrayed, as the trust he had in his family shattered into pieces. The pain was clear in Kabane's eyes as he grappled with this painful truth, and it created a bond of shared sadness between him and Inugami. Feeling guilt and understanding the situation, Kabane accepts his fate. Inugami, honoring Kabane's decision, reluctantly ends his life. However, to their astonishment, Kabane awakens in Inugami's car. Inugami reveals Kabane's ghoul nature, that he never dies, emphasizing that Dorotabo is dead, and now his name is Kabane, and also guides him to a counseling office. As Kabane changes, 2 boys enter, curious about the mysterious newcomer. The story takes an unexpected turn, leaving Kabane grappling with his identity and fate. Inugami, a guide at the office where he works with other kids like Akira and Shiki, introduces Kabane to them. He invites Kabane to consider joining their team, assuring him he doesn't need an immediate answer. Akira inquires about Kabane's peculiar scent, leading Inugami to reveal Kabane's unique identity as an immortal demon and human Hanyo. Shiki notices Kabane wearing his clothes and declines to take them back, expressing his disdain for Kabane's presence. He shares a tense exchange with Kabane regarding their ages before retreating to the bathroom, refusing to share a room with Kabane and directing him to sleep on the sofa. Akira introduces himself, and Kabane, mistaking Akira for a girl, leads to a misunderstanding that leaves Akira upset and walking away in tears. Later, Shiki sits with Kabane while they eat pizza. Shiki bluntly expresses his dislike for Kabane, who accepts this without protest. They share a moment of surprise when Kabane admits to never having seen pizza before, amusing Shiki briefly, but he soon reverts to a cold demeanor. In another scene, Shiki repeatedly vents his hatred for Kabane to Akira. Akira speculates on Shiki's animosity, suggesting it might be due to Kabane being the first hybrid Shiki has encountered. An argument ensues between Akira and Shiki about asking Inugami why Kabane might be there, leading Shiki to reluctantly agree to ask Inugami himself. Kabane is shown heading to the bathroom, stumbles, and discovers a thread. Shiki questions Kabane about his purpose there, initially receiving a random answer before Kabane admits he was searching for his parents. Shiki pessimistically assumes Kabane's parents are likely deceased, but a sudden turn of events reveals Kabane's extraordinary healing ability when his injured leg swiftly heals, surprising Shiki. Kabane then excuses himself to the bathroom, leaving Shiki intrigued. The next day, the four of them embark on a job together. While on their way, Inugami encourages the trio to work together, explaining it's an opportunity to display their abilities as kimonoists. Arriving at the location, an investigator briefs them about a distressing situation involving a mother, child, and a rescuer trapped inside a room. Two crying children outside the room, presumably siblings, catch their attention. Inugami questions the investigators about the duration of the situation, discovering it's been around 20 to 30 minutes. Upon inspecting the room, they observe the inhabitants are besieged by sanshi bugs, insects feeding on their bodies. Akira panics and retreats near the door, visibly distressed. Inugami educates them that sanshi bugs are benign insects that feed on people's skin while they sleep, yet regard anyone disturbing their food as adversaries. The investigator seeks solutions, to which Inugami claims he can eradicate the bugs entirely, secretly transforming his body into steel and mentioning a 50% chance of rescuing the individuals. Despite Inugami's warning, a rescuer attempts entry and falls prey to the bugs. The investigator insists on burning the bugs to safeguard the community. However, a child asserts that the people inside are still alive, pleading for help. Amid the chaos, Shiki offers to resolve the situation using his silk threads. He generates a spider web inside the room to ensnare the bugs, but the bugs consume the web, leading to its collapse. Kabane steps up, volunteering to enter the room himself. With Inugami's approval, Kabane enters and is instantly assaulted by the bugs. Unaffected by the pain due to his ghoul nature, Kabane discovers one of the victims holding the bugs. Inugami orders Kabane to lift them, successfully removing the bugs and rescuing the trapped individuals. After the ordeal, Akira inquires about the strange bugs and their preferred food. Inugami reveals that sanshi bugs feed on feelings of guilt. The young boy, whose family was rescued, expresses gratitude to Kabane. He shares the backstory of the bugs' appearance, involving stolen shoes and the mother's sacrifice to shield her children, despite her fear of the bugs. Kabane reflects on the concept of family and approaches Inugami to ask if he could reunite with his parents by working for him. Inugami questions Kabane's desire to meet his parents, to which Kabane finally asserts his wish. Inugami then allows Kabane to reside at the office. Upon returning to the office, Shiki opens up about his mother being an arachne. When Kabane inquires about whether she's alive, Shiki is uncertain, believing they likely aren't searching for him. However, Kabane remains optimistic, suggesting their parents might still be alive and searching for them. This notion irritates Shiki, who argues that if their parents were separated, they would seek them out, but since that hasn't happened, they are likely deceased or have abandoned them. Despite Shiki's pessimism, Kabane clings to the hope that their parents didn't abandon them and are possibly alive. Even if they're deceased, he is determined to discover their identities. Shiki, feeling uncomfortable, reluctantly shows Kabane where his room is. Later, Inugami engages in a phone call, reporting the completing of the job and discussing Kabane. As Kabane lies in a hammock, he awakens, commenting on the coziness that prevents him from sleeping. Inugami, the head of the office, commands Shiki to accompany Kabane to meet Yoko Inari, a woman of significance. Inugami, foreseeing potential risks, contacts Kabane, providing him with a good luck charm for the impending encounter. Meanwhile, Inari arrives at the Shinjuku police station, where the officers greet her respectfully. Simultaneously, Shiki, Akira, and Kabane reach the Shinjuku station and head directly to the police station. Eager to meet Inari, they seek access but face rejection from the officer at the reception. Their quest gets an unexpected turn when a young girl named Kan emerges and directly inquires about Kabane's identity. Kabane steps forward, and Kan conveys Inari's specific request for Kabane, instructing him to follow her. However, she denies Shiki the permission to accompany Kabane, insisting that Inari only desires Kabane's presence. With a sense of urgency, Kabane follows Kan, leaving Shiki and Akira behind. Guided by Kan, Kabane enters a room where Inari awaits. Without hesitation, Kabane presents his life stone to Inari, who begins discussing its significance with Kabane. Suddenly, Kan, the seemingly helpful guide, startlingly decapitates Kabane upon Inari's orders. The police, under Inari's control, promptly collect Kabane's head and remove his body while Kan deals with Kabane's friends. In a surprising turn of events, a Kabane lookalike, holding a briefcase, appears before Shiki and Akira. Curiosity prompts Akira to question the contents of the briefcase, to which the imposter claims it was given to him and must be delivered later. Shiki detects something amiss about this Kabani and attempts to ridicule Inari, provoking the imposter, who reveals herself to be Kan in disguise. Kan unleashes her fiery attacks on Shiki and Akira. During the chaotic clash, Shiki manages to snatch the briefcase from Kan. Upon opening it, they are met with the shocking sight of Kabane's severed head, rendering Akira unconscious. Driven by her fear of disappointing Inari, Kan hunts for them within the building. Kabane urges Shiki to toss him toward Kan, intending to take her down. Recollecting Kabane's previous strategy against the bugs, Shiki obliges by hurling Kabane towards Kan. Seizing the moment, Kabane bites deeply into Kan's shoulder, rendering her unconscious. With Kan defeated, the illusion enveloping the police station dissipates, and Kabane regenerates his body. As the trio exits, they find Inugami waiting for them outside. Inari, now riding in a taxi, witnesses the Lifestone undergoing a transformation into a tanuki doll, a peculiar occurrence that intrigues her. Soon after, she receives a call from Inugami, who asserts that the Lifestone belongs to Kabane, warning Inari that next time, she'll confront him directly. Unbeknownst to anyone, Kabane cleverly hides the Lifestone inside his mouth, a strategy to safeguard his possession. Meanwhile, Kan, still reeling from the confrontation with Kabane, struggles to walk and maintain her balance. Back at the office, after Inugami and the rest return from dinner, they spot Kan at a distance, who eventually collapses due to her injuries. Taking pity on her condition, they offer Kan some pizza while she confides in Inugami about her urgent need to retrieve Kabane's head. At the bar, Kabane curiously asks Shiki about the dual nature of the place, partly a bar and originally belonging to Inugami's partner. Shiki hints that it's a sensitive topic and advises Kabane not to bring it up with Inugami directly. A client seeking help arrives, sharing his lovelorn tale about a woman he deeply admires. His longing to know more about her has led him to seek assistance. Akira empathetically refers to it as love, which piques Kan's interest, who amusingly associates it with her love for Koi. Shiki, however, feels uneasy about Akira's support for the romantic plight. Meanwhile, Kabane approaches Inugami, questioning if following the client might lead him to his parents or even the concept of love. Although surprised by Kabane's ponderings, Inugami grants permission for the inquiry and assigns Akira and Shiki to accompany him, teasing Akira with the promise of Kabane's head as a reward. As the evening unfolds, the client's erratic behavior captures attention when he presents a bag full of rats as a peculiar gift for the woman. Recognizing the signs, Inugami identifies the act as the work of a nekomata. Akira, overwhelmed by the sight, rushes to the bathroom feeling nauseous. Concerned for Akira's well-being, Inugami suggests he sits this particular task out, considering the potential fright it may induce. Yoruno, accompanied by Shiki, Kabane, and Akira, rendezvous in Shinjuku. Sharing a picture of his beloved, Yoruno waits for Mao, who emerges from the establishment. Witnessing a cat departing the scene, they follow, where Kabane discloses Yoruno's affection. Encouraged, Yoruno professes his love to Mao, resulting in unexpected developments. Inugami, using his illusion, seemingly presents Kabane's head to Yoruno as a peculiar gift, orchestrating an unexpected turn of events. The following day, it's revealed that Yoruno and Mao have developed an unusual, close-knit relationship. Akira, eager to learn and assist, discloses his decision to Inugami to become Kabane's apprentice. The duo then embarks on a job in Shibuya, briefed about the mysterious Shibuya rivers, where they encounter unexpected threats lurking in the shadows. Kabane, accompanied by Akira, receives a detailed briefing about the Shibuya rivers and their peculiarities. As they venture into the underground river, Akira dons a full medical suit with a mask, preparing for the unknown environment ahead. The two proceed further into the depths of the underground river, where Akira shares snippets of his childhood with Kabane along the way. Their expedition takes a dangerous turn when a frog-like kimono suddenly grabs Akira from above, catching them off guard. Kabane springs into action, freeing Akira from the kimono's grip just in time. Another assault ensues as more frog-like creatures launch an attack. In the midst of the chaos, a tanuki appears out of nowhere and intervenes by biting one of the frog kimonos. To the surprise of Kabane and Akira, the tanuki presents a pouch, a letter, and a container of blood that Inugami arranged. Intrigued, they read the letter, discovering crucial information about the frog kimonos lurking within the river. Akira hesitates but decides to fight, recalling the purpose that brought him to Tokyo. Seeking to draw out the frog kimonos, Akira pours the blood into the river, hoping to lure them closer. As planned, a horde of frog kimonos emerges and launches a fierce assault. Amidst the intense battle, Kabane and the tanuki join forces, combating the frog kimonos with all their might. However, amidst the chaos, Akira grapples with an internal conflict, haunted by self-doubt and past remarks about his perceived weakness. Refusing to be daunted, he summons newfound strength and determination, unleashing an unexpected power that freezes the frog kimonos and their surroundings. In a surprising turn of events, the leader of the frog kimonos expresses gratitude to the tanuki, revealing its true identity as Inugami himself. Kabane, engrossed in his daily chores at the office, suddenly vanishes after being unexpectedly pulled into a room by someone. Concerned about Kabane's sudden disappearance, Akira and Shiki seek out Inugami, who joins them in their search. Following Kabane's trail leads them to a room at the end of a hallway, where they discover Kabane working under the orders of a mysterious figure named Mihai. Shocked to find Mihai residing in the room all along, Akira, Shiki, and Inugami confront him. Mihai introduces himself, promptly proclaiming Kabane as his official assistant. Much to everyone's surprise, Kabane unhesitatingly accepts this declaration, becoming Mihai's wait person. Inugami shares some insight about Mihai with the group, cautioning them to keep their distance from him. The following day, Shiki and Akira witness Kabane once again following Mihai's instructions in his room. Disturbed by this apparent servitude, Shiki confronts Mihai, rebuking him for treating Kabane as a servant. Mihai, in response, proposes a challenge. If they defeat him in arm wrestling, he will release Kabane. Despite Shiki's attempts, Mihai's immense strength overwhelms him in every arm wrestling bout. Inugami intervenes, revealing Mihai's vampiric nature and his deliberate manipulation of the arm wrestling contests. As Kabane heads out to buy dinner, his thoughts dwell on his defeat, igniting a resolve to grow stronger. While in the park, he encounters Kon, engaging in a match that ends with Kabane emerging victorious. Kon's defeat leaves her in tears, feeling dejected and weak. Returning to the office, Inugami is astonished to witness Mihai leaving his room. Mihai reveals a broken arm, inflicted by Kabane during their earlier arm wrestling. With his arm incapacitated for a week, Mihai opts to assist Inugami in their work without permission. Kabane, meanwhile, attempts to comfort Kon in the park, eventually falling asleep. He proposes that Kon stay with them, but she declines, preferring to reside in the park. Back at the office, Mihai informs the others about a new case, setting the stage for their next adventure. Shiki is shown engaged in rigorous training, utilizing his sweat to produce silk threads. Meanwhile, Akira and Kabane arrive at Bug Bite Electronics, led by Mihai, who provides remote guidance. The scene unfolds with Inugami mysteriously locked in a room within the building. As Shiki maneuvers through the premises, he stumbles upon a room teeming with workers. Suddenly, a distressed worker exits, only to be intercepted by the manager, Kaga. Coaxing the worker into an empty room, Kaga manipulates the situation, leading to a horrifying encounter where the worker's brain is preyed upon by a kanonba, a mosquito-like kimono. Mihai, intrigued by the mosquito-like creatures, seeks information from Inugami, relaying the details to Akira, Shiki, and Kabane. They deliberate on how to tackle the situation. Kabane leans toward an aggressive approach, while Shiki suggests an alternate strategy. Witnessing their caution, Mihai decides to stir things up, using his Mihai Magnum device to create a ruckus. The commotion lures Erika Kaga outside, prompting her to investigate the source of the disturbance. She and her sister split up to search the building for intruders. Shiki, attempting to remain concealed, is spotted by one of the sisters. Just as an attack ensues, Mihai intervenes with the Mihai Magnum, delivering an electrifying shock. The encounter leaves Shiki trembling, piquing Mihai's interest further as he toys with the situation, aiming to engage Shiki in a thrilling game. Shiki finds himself deeply affected by the confrontation, feeling the weight of the encounter with the Kaga sisters and Mihai's enigmatic behavior. Meanwhile, Mihai, reveling in his newfound amusement, continues to push Shiki's boundaries, making it a game of cat and mouse. Shiki, overwhelmed by fear during a confrontation with the Kananba, grapples with a panic attack. Kabane and Akira swiftly move to support Shiki, but their path is obstructed by Momoka. Meanwhile, Shiki, petrified and unable to act, pleads for assistance, yearning for someone to help him out of his dire situation. Then, a call from Kabane reaches Shiki through the communicator, distracting Momoka and informing Shiki that they are en route to assist him. In the midst of facing Erika, Shiki employs his camouflaging ability. Despite Erika's efforts to locate him, Shiki uses his silk to ensnare her, allowing him to strike her. At this crucial moment, Kabane and Akira arrive, promptly restraining both sisters. The trio deliberates their next moves. However, their plans are interrupted when Reika, the eldest sister, intervenes, apologizing for their actions and threatening the trio to leave. Kabane, determined to halt their nefarious plans, defies Reika's ultimatum. Unbeknownst to them, Reika undergoes a transformation, revealing her true form as a Kanonba. Struggling against Reika's overwhelming strength, Kabane, Shiki, and Akira attempt to combat her, but they are overpowered. In the midst of this grueling fight, Mihai advises Kabane to tap into his kimono abilities rather than relying solely on his human strength. Embracing this counsel, Kabane unleashes his kimono power, enabling him to triumph over Reika. Following the fierce confrontation, a kimono named Nobimaru, affiliated with Yoko Inari, emerges and introduces himself. Nobimaru takes action, incinerating the Kanon boss. He confides in Kabane, revealing that Inari remains persistent in her pursuit of Kabane's life stone. Departing with a secret animosity toward Inari, Nobimaru bids farewell. As the team converses about their recent mission, Shiki approaches Inugami, expressing his curiosity about his parents. Meanwhile, Kabane rushes to find Kon to make amends for missing their meeting. He discovers Kon at the park, feeling disappointed about the spoiled koi. To cheer her up, Kabane promises to catch fresh fish for their meal. Nobimaru continues to observe them discreetly, analyzing their interaction. Back at the office, Inugami shares his backstory and reveals the woman who guided him, Anna, was the one who introduced him to the world of kimono and shaped his life. Shiki, moved by Inugami's story, reaffirms his desire to learn about his own parents. The gang comprising Inugami, Akira, Tadamaru, and Kusaka sets out for Kinshigo, a destination central to uncovering Shiki's family past. As they reach, Inugami swiftly arranges accommodation, while the others explore a local souvenir shop. Shiki catches sight of a young girl entering the store, a flicker of recognition crossing his face. Soon after, Inugami arrives with Akio Tadamaru, Shiki's uncle, and leads them towards the forest, aiming to confront the enigma shrouding Shiki's mother. Akio, Shiki's uncle, unveils a fragment of the haunting story about Shiki's parents' encounter with the legendary Nishikugumo. Shiki, Kabane, and Akira are visibly anxious and question Shiki upon his return. Emotionally burdened, Shiki reveals the grim truth. Both his parents are deceased. In a lighter moment, the trio, accompanied by Nobimaru, end up bathing together. Suddenly, Nobimaru, in his kitsune form, joins them and suggests a forest exploration to uplift their spirits. Venturing into the woods, they are enchanted by Firefly's glow. As they wander, Shiki is drawn to a familiar tree, triggering memories of his past. Rushing ahead, he uncovers a cabin, triggering flashbacks of a traumatic incident from his childhood involving his mother and a kimono. Nobimaru discovers suspicious items inside the cabin, a catheter, bloodstains, and scratch marks, hinting at a sinister past linked to a forbidden kimono incident. Meanwhile, Inugami engages Akio in a private conversation about unsettling truths. Shiki grapples with repressed memories and makes a resolution to uncover the truth behind his mother's suffering. Vows to confront his uncle, Shiki is determined to seek justice. The unsettling revelations and the brewing confrontation set the stage for an impending confrontation. Nobimaru recollects a prior kimono incident involving a blacklisted individual tied to the creation of a peculiar substance known as healing silk, which remains suppressed by Inari. He further unravels the tangled connection between the location they're exploring and the creation of the golden spider webbing. Shiki's haunting memories resurface, recalling a desperate attempt to rescue his mother from a monstrous entity, only to lose consciousness amid the chaos. Shiki gradually pieces together fragmented memories from his childhood. He remembers the traumatic event where he saw his uncle, suspecting him of lying about his mother's safety and fleeing the truth. Realizing his mistake in not questioning his uncle then, Shiki harbors a deep sense of regret for not challenging the unfolding events. Frustrated and driven by a yearning for truth and justice, Shiki vows to confront his uncle, willing to embrace any consequence that follows. Meanwhile, amidst the serene forest, Inugami engages Akio in a discreet conversation, probing about the origins of the golden spider webbing. As their discussion deepens, Akio's unease grows palpable, his demeanor fraught with distress. Inugami persistently questions Akio about his involvement, unraveling a dark secret linked to Shiki's past. Unbeknownst to Akio, Shiki is silently eavesdropping on their conversation through a call, intently absorbing every word exchanged. As Akio admits to his role in the sinister events, Shiki, listening in, reacts swiftly. He intervenes, shocking Akio as he confronts him, caught between the unsettling truths and the resolve to uncover the hidden realities of his past. The confrontation between Shiki and his uncle hangs on a precipice, poised to reveal long-concealed truths and untangle the shadows veiling Shiki's family history. In a moment of tense confrontation, Shiki grapples with overwhelming emotions as he restrains his uncle, Akio, enraged by the shocking revelations about his past. The confrontation escalates when Akio questions Inugami about his acceptance of the children's potential to kill. Amidst this turmoil, Akira arrives, visibly distressed and seeking refuge after being left behind. As Akira reunites with Shiki and Inugami, a sudden kemono threat materializes behind Akira. Swiftly reacting, Inugami shields Akira from the attack, but not without paying a heavy price. He's poisoned by the kimono's venom. Dragged away by the ferocious kimono, Inugami and Akira's fates hang in the balance as they're separated from the group. Meanwhile, facing the perilous situation, Shiki stands against Akio, who's allied with a group of kimonos. Much to Shiki's disbelief and heartache, he discovers that these kimonos are none other than his siblings, products of Akio's grotesque experiments. Overwhelmed by the torment of hearing his deceased mother's words echo through his siblings, Shiki breaks down. In this dire moment, Nobimaru proposes to Kabane to tackle the situation, but Kabane remains reticent, opting instead to approach Shiki to offer his assistance. Overwhelmed by emotion, Shiki, amidst tears, reaches out to Kabane, seeking help in this turbulent ordeal. Meanwhile, amidst the chaos, Inugami and Akira are held captive by a mysterious young girl, Aya, whom Akio seems deeply unsettled by, who intervenes, commanding the kimonos not to harm them. She invites Inugami to follow her to a healing spring for his arm, which was injured in the struggle. Simultaneously, Kabane, resolute in his determination, confronts the kimonos alongside Shiki. With his unwavering resolve to eliminate Akio, Kabane takes on the formidable foes, driven solely by the objective of ending the source of their torment. In a critical turn of events, Kabane successfully defeated the kimonos, finally closing in on Akio. In an unexpected move, Kabane relinquishes Akio to Shiki, leaving the choice of how to deal with his uncle entirely up to him. Grateful for Kabane's support in facing the kimonos, Shiki expresses his gratitude, revealing that he's realized killing his uncle won't bring his mother back. As the tension escalates, Aya realizes the significance of a healing spring linked to the cocoon's detoxifying effects. She attempts to immerse herself in the spring, but Shiki intervenes, offering to take on the task in her stead. Submerging himself into the waters, Shiki makes a startling discovery: his mother, encased within the cocoon. Resurfacing from the depths, Shiki confronts Aya, questioning her involvement and his mother's condition. In a revealing moment, Aya discloses her full name, unraveling her true identity as the Golden Webbing. The situation intensifies as Inugami, Kabane, Akira, and Nobimaru rush to the scene. Akio, acknowledging the danger to Aya and the potential of mass-producing the Golden Webbing, faces the wrath of Shiki's anger, receiving a powerful punch from Shiki. Despite his profound rage and resentment, Shiki decides not to kill Akio and demands to transport his mother to a safe location. He invites Aya to join them, showing a sense of acceptance and empathy towards her. The group, now including Aya, makes their way back to Tokyo. Meanwhile, Akio faces a confrontation with Nobimaru, leading to his demise. Upon their return to the city, the group seeks refuge at a clinic run by Inugami's acquaintance, Granny Ohana, for urgent medical assistance for Shiki's mother. The intense emotional journey and revelations pave the way for new uncertainties and a quest for deeper truths as Granny Ohana stands before them, marking the beginning of a new chapter in their intertwined destinies. Granny Ohana carefully examines Kumi's condition, conveying to Shiki that her ailment might be rooted in psychological issues. She assures Shiki of Kumi's eventual awakening and invites the group to stay the night at the clinic. As the others retire to sleep, Shiki remains by his mother's side while Aya hesitates outside the room. Kabane and Akira quickly drift off to sleep, leaving Shiki and Aya in the room. With trepidation holding her back, Aya reflects on memories of her mother and the revelation of having a big brother who she believed would rescue them. Suddenly, Shiki calls out to Aya, encouraging her to join him. Aya questions Shiki about his lack of hostility towards her, pondering why he hasn't treated her like other kimonos. Shiki responds with gratitude, appreciating that Aya kept their mother alive and expressing his gladness at having met her. Overwhelmed by Shiki's sentiments, Aya sheds tears. In a heartfelt moment, Kumi regains consciousness, finding her children at her side, and they share a heartfelt embrace. A week later, at the detective agency, Shiki is notably absent, having chosen to stay at the hospital to tend to his recovering mother. Surprisingly, Shiki makes a sudden appearance at the agency, affirming his decision not to quit and pledging to assist Kabane in finding his parents as a gesture of gratitude. A transformed Aya also arrives at the agency, sporting a different demeanor, and announces her decision to collaborate with Granny Ohana. Inugami interrupts the children's interaction to discuss a new assignment regarding a series of incidents involving women having their faces ripped off. Kabane, Aya, and Kan agree to take on the job. Arriving at Harajuku, where the incidents occurred, Kan confidently claims to handle the task, boasting about being Inari's subordinate. However, her claims are dismissed by the police officer. Introducing themselves as part of the Inugami detective agency, Kabane and Aya gain the officer's cooperation. While investigating, Kan's emotions take a turn due to jealousy toward Kabane and Aya. Soon, Aya is ensnared by something, prompting Kabane's intervention. They encounter a katanashi, a kimono, whose actions are driven by love for a boy, explaining her unusual behavior of ripping women's faces to impress him. Concerned about Kan's discomfort, Aya questions her, causing Kan to lash out and transform into her kitsune form, attempting to attack Aya before fleeing from both Kabane and Aya. Returning to the agency, Aya discloses that she granted the katanashi a human appearance. Subsequently, Aya bids farewell to Kabane with a parting kiss. Later that evening, Kabane discovers Kan crying in the park and tries to console her, asking about her distress. Kan reveals her desire to be the most important person to Kabane, seeking advice on what she should do to achieve that. Uncertain, Kabane admits he doesn't have an answer. Meanwhile, Inugami accompanies Kumi to pay respects to her deceased kimono children, expressing gratitude to Inugami for keeping their existence a secret. The following day, both Aya and Kan return to the agency, and a quarrel erupts between the two. Akira intervenes, urging Kabane to choose between Aya and Kan as his lover, to which Kabane humorously replies, Inugami, leaving Aya and Kan astonished. A young man wanders the streets and accidentally collides with a group of strangers. When the group demands money from him, the young man reveals a drawing of Akira, and upon their mockery, he freezes one of the men. Meanwhile, at the agency, Inugami suggests Akira have his torn stuffed toy repaired by Mihai. After receiving the mended toy, Akira hears a voice. Mihai reveals he installed an AI in the toy. A flashback showcases Akira and his twin brother Yui playing joyfully in the snow during their childhood. However, they were discovered by Hizami, leading to their imprisonment in a room. The village takes care of the twins during this period. Back in the present, the agency receives a task to collect a deceased client's remains from a beach. Unfortunately, Akira accidentally spills the bag's contents. Over the next few days, Akira creates chaos at the agency, and during tasks like not plugging the kettle, breaking a vase, and spilling food. Frustrated, Akira decides to leave the agency and embarks on a journey. While wandering, he unexpectedly encounters Yui. Young Akira and Yui stumble upon a bag in the mountains and learn about Tokyo, Inugami, and the Kimonoist office. Before bedtime, Yui promises Akira they'll go to Tokyo and live there peacefully someday. Encountering Yui, Akira questions him about his whereabouts and offers him a crepe, but Yui declines and returns it. At the agency, Shiki and Kabane complete a task, expressing how much easier it is without Akira. Meanwhile, Akira and Yui visit a park, and Yui creates an ice castle for Akira. Akira asks for more, and as he tries to photograph the creations, Yui freezes and breaks Akira's phone, stating he won't need it. Yui leaves, instructing Akira not to depart and brings them food. Back at the agency, Shiki struggles with cooking while Kabane discusses Akira's importance. Realizing their reliance on Akira, Kabane suggests finding him, and Shiki agrees. Inugami notices a post about an ice castle, leading Inugami, Kabane, and Shiki to the location. Yui emerges from the castle, and Inugami shoots his hand before he freezes a reporter. However, Yui freezes his own wound, revealing a forbidden nil calculus attached to his chest. Inugami queries Yui about the snow village, but Yui refuses to answer, thanking them for caring for Akira. Inugami queries their relationship with Akira, and Kabane asserts they're his friends, asking if Akira is inside inside the castle. Inside the castle, Akira browses social media using his stuffed toy. Concerned for his brother, Akira learns from his toy that Yui's heart's temperature is dangerously low, potentially impacting him physically and mentally. As Yui returns to the castle, he orders Akira to come down, but instead finds his friends frozen. Akira is confronted with a perplexing situation when he finds his friends encased in ice. Distraught, he fears the worst and feels unwell. However, his brother Yui, who created the ice castle, reassures Akira that their friends are not deceased, but frozen and alive. This realization brings Akira some relief, especially after acknowledging that Kabane, who possesses immortality, may not succumb to the freezing. Yui departs from the ice castle to gather mints, hoping to aid Akira, while recollecting how he became the Snow Village chief. Flashbacks reveal glimpses of Akira and Yui's childhood, where Yui shouldered the responsibility of being a chief despite Akira's eagerness to assist. Akira, understanding Yui's heavy burdens, gifts him a flower and celebrates his brother's new role. The flashback further delves into Yui's challenging role as chief and the gradual toll it took on him. His responsibilities, combined with increasing animosity, resulted in a growing resentment, yet Akira remained his beacon of hope and stability. As Yui retrieves mints, Akira remains inside the ice castle and fervently seeks a chance to thaw the ice and rescue his friends. Inari and Nobimaru make their way to the ice castle's vicinity. Meanwhile, Kabane manages to break free from the ice and enlightens Akira about the Null Stone, a significant artifact tied to their origins. Akira recalls the Snow Village's protective barrier and understands Kabane's need to persuade his brother. Kabane, advocating for Akira's return to the agency, apologizes for their earlier discord. Concerned about Yui's potential threat, Akira fabricates a story, blaming himself for instructing his brother to deal with their friends. However, Kaban realizes Akira's deceit, sensing his underlying feelings of resentment and hatred toward them. Yui arrives, prompting a confrontation where Akira falsely denounces his friends, attempting to sever ties and depart. As they leave, Akira emotionally bids farewell to Kabane, and both brothers vacate the location. Back at the ice castle, Bonnie's assistants to fulfill Akira's incomplete tasks. With Yui's aid, they use the Nullstone's residual heat to thaw Inugami and Shiki from the ice. Inari unexpectedly appears, seeking the Nullstone for reasons connected to Kabane's parents. Meanwhile, Akira and Yui share a heart-to-heart conversation. Akira expresses concern about Yui's burdensome responsibilities as the village chief. Yui, determined to shield Akira from troubles, reflects on their brotherly bond, revealing a comical incident from their childhood involving Akira's bedwetting and Yui's clever intervention with the village's women. Their conversation uncovers Yui's significant sacrifices and his willingness to safeguard Akira, setting a pact to meet in Tokyo. However, complications arise as Yui discovers Hisami's betrayal and sets out to protect Akira. The episode culminates with Nobimaru encountering Yui, who locks Akira in a cage. As Yui tries to freeze Nobimaru, an intense clash unfolds, involving Nobimaru's escape and transformation into his kitsune form. Meanwhile, Inari attempts to persuade Kabane to assist her in retrieving the Nullstone, emphasizing the importance of saving Akira. Inugami grants Kabane permission, urging him to rescue Akira, while Nobimaru engages in a fiery struggle against Yui. Akira is trapped inside a cage devised by his brother, Yui. With the situation escalating and the other Kimonoists in danger, Akira hatches a plan, Operation Get Along, aiming to resolve the ongoing conflict between his brother and his friends. However, trapped within the cage, Akira is unable to execute his plan. Meanwhile, Yui engages in a fierce battle with Nobimaru. Amidst the struggle, Akira calls out to Yui, momentarily distracting him, allowing Nobimaru to attempt to reach the nil calculus. Yet, touching the calculus only injures Nobimaru's hands, intensifying the conflict. Kabane arrives, joining forces with Nobimaru to confront Yui. Collaboratively, they strategize, aiming to subdue Yui. Kabane ignites his body, unleashing flames to melt Yui's icy defenses. Yui retaliates by encasing himself in ice, vowing to protect Akira, while Akira, still trapped, attempts to break free by manipulating the water vapor into ice. The intense clash continues between Kabane and Yui, with Nobimaru warning Kabane of the potential repercussions his fiery attacks could have on his body. Despite the risk, Kabane pushes forward, intent on stopping Yui. However, just as Kabane launches a devastating attack, Akira intervenes, halting Kabane's assault. Witnessing Yui's body deteriorating due to the calculus absorbing his life force, Akira has a vision of their childhood, realizing the sacrifices Yui made to protect him. Overwhelmed with emotion, Akira pledges to share happiness and joy with his brother from now on. phone. Kabane rushes to assist Akira, and with a combined effort, they separate the life calculus from Yui, which merges with the Nile calculus. Inari intervenes, touching the combined calculus, causing a stir. Inugami, accompanied by Shiki, arrives at the scene and confronts Inari, demanding the return of the calculus, asserting its belonging to Kabane. Inari throws back the combined calculus, deeming it useless without the Nile calculus, and departs. Kabane extends an invitation to Nobimaru to join them for Aya to mend his injured hand, but Nobimaru declines, citing his own shortcomings, and takes his leave. The group takes Yui to Granny Ohana's hospital for him to recuperate. Akira apologizes to Kabane, expressing gratitude for his help. Yui regains consciousness and expresses gratitude to Kabane for rescuing him. Kabane seizes the opportunity to inquire about the Nile calculus from Yui, learning about the war between kimonos and humans and the existence of other calculi akin to Kabane's. Reflecting on his actions, Yui apologizes to Akira and expresses his desire to be with him. They share a heartfelt moment, and the group gathers for a photo. Meanwhile, Kon encounters Nobimaru, initially wary but becomes delighted when he reveals Inari's special mission for her. Nobimaru instructs Kon to persuade Kabane and retrieve the kimono calculi. Subsequently, Kabane, Akira, and Shiki visit Mihai's room to repair Nissan. Akira embarks on a journey with his brother, while Inugami and Kabane set out to explore and locate other calculi. Surprisingly, Kon appears, expressing her intent to join their travels.